And I think the second doctor's appointment, the doctor told me, like, you're not going to play football no more. Like, your knee's just, it's gone. It was so taking all the wind out of my sail. And I was like, what do you mean? And the doctor threw my MRI up on the little light board and turned it on. And he's like, see all these little dots? It's like, that's your ligament. He's like, see this one? That's what it's supposed to look like. And I'm like, wow. It was a punch in the gut like no other. Sometimes your dreams get crushed and you have to come up with new ones. I think that was the biggest thing for me was that, yeah, I can blow out my other knee. So one thing I can't blow out is a degree. And that piece of paper opens so many doors. I have worked in every position from claims assistant to claims manager. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I received was invest in yourself.
So for our listeners at home, we're here podcasting after hours. We're in the TOA Storytellers Suite, Brea, California, and it's after hours in our book. And John Castro's over there, Rick Castro's over here, and we have Johny Acosta, who currently works at Broadspire with us today. Thanks for coming in, man.
I appreciate it. It's truly an honor. I know when John reached out to me and told me I was blown away. I'm like, why would you even ask me? There's so many more interesting people.
Everyone has said that.
Yeah.
Every single person we've asked has said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer back is, well, because you are an amazing person. You have your own story. And that's why we called it Storytellers, right? Because it's not about the workers' comp industry, although it happens to be everybody who works in the workers' comp industry. That's just almost coincidental because you've gone through a whole lifetime of challenges and obstacles, and we wanted to hear what you cared to share about how you got to where you are. People can be inspired by you, I predict.
Well, that's a big weight to be on my shoulders, but I think it's something that you run across people in our industry, and I've been fortunate enough to really have a lot of really great mentors, and they put me on a path that to be successful, and it was because they took a chance. And
who's one or two of those that you could name?
One of the biggest mentors I have is Mr. Scotty Benton.
Famous Scott.
Yes.
He's got to be on this podcast.
Yeah, you got to get him on.
Okay.
Get him on, but you might have to filter his language because he gets a little excited from time to time.
I think that realness is perfect. It's perfect. Why would we want to filter that out? I mean, we'd maybe want to warn people, don't put your kids on and stuff like that, but it's cool for people just to be themselves, and us to just enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing he does is he allows you to understand who he is, and he allows you to realize what his expectations are, and he allows you to know that he believes in you.
How'd you meet him originally?
I met Scotty when we were working at Sedgwick.
Okay. So this is like when?
This was...
You've been in this industry forever.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Was that your first job?
No. So
this industry?
I worked at, my career started at EOS Group, which was bought out by TriStar.
Okay.
So that was my first starting job, and I had tremendous supervisor there named Becky Shoemaker, and she believed in me. I just went in right out of college. Okay. So I graduated from Cal State Northridge. Mm-hmm. I have a bachelor's degree in criminology.
Really?
And a minor in sociology.
Was the idea to go into risk and stuff like that?
No,
the
idea was to be a probation officer.
Okay.
And so when I got out of college, I applied at Orange County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, and San Diego County. And unfortunately, when I graduated, they had a hiring freeze.
Was it early 2000s?
Early 2000s. Graduated 2001 from Cal State Northridge, and applied. And, the only one that called me back right away was San Diego County. And I was like, okay. And then I was, talking to the recruiter, it was like National City, like the border.
Well, that's way down there.
Man, how am I supposed
to San Diego?
Yeah, like how am I supposed to do that? Like I have no clue of anybody down there. I have no relatives.
Right.
Being Mexican, you usually have a family member in every city, and I have a really big family, and
and even you didn't have one down there.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know anybody down there. So my sister, Gloria Molina, she was working at EOS at the time.
So I never heard of EOS. Did you guys know about EOS? Have you heard of EOS before? No, because they got bought out before I was on, radar at all.
Personally, I can't remember the history of them, but my sister had worked there probably for like 2.5 years. And she's like, hey, we have like a file clerk, a claims assistant position.
You just start like, well,
Like $12 an hour. I think it was like $14 an hour. And I was like,
something, but it's just far away.
Yeah, it's in Irvine. So I'm like, it's a new adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and interviewed, and they were like, yeah. So it was back in the glory days of work comp when
Really?
your claims assistant was your file clerk, your subpoena person, your benefit payer, your records, medical status caller, and you handled medical only files. No clue of what work
Many
comp
hats.
did. Yeah, many hats. No clue of work comp. I for my thesis paper in college, one of my last classes, I had to do an internship, and for the week of spring break, I went to my sister's job and sat with her, and she was working on a fraud file. So I got to sit through, the investigator coming in, the defense attorney coming in. And
but that was right up your alley then, if you had a criminal justice background. And
so I talked to her, telling her I had a internship. I had to finish up, I think it was 44 hours. She's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure it out. And I said, the only free time I have is spring break. And I'm like, I don't want to go. We have too much fun now. Mm-hmm. I'm a senior. I just finished my football season, and I think I had 2 real classes, and I had like poetry.
How you have a sensitive side.
Yeah, sensitive side. And what was my other class? Oh, kinesiology. Really? I had to finish 2 electives, and then I had to do my 2 final classes with the lab. One had a lab, and one had the internship.
Kinesiology, that's movement, right?
Yeah. Bodily movement, kind of like a PE teacher. So
you're like a jock and a like romantic at the same time.
There you go. So
all right, ladies. Oh wait, no.
I am engaged. I am engaged.
What?
Yeah, that was
congratulations. You guys knew about this, right?
Yeah.
Of course, these guys know.
Yeah.
Matchmakers.
Yeah. So I just got engaged on my birthday.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
is there a date set already?
We are thinking of the 3rd week of May 2021.
Okay, a couple years away.
Yeah.
Or year and a half away-ish.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Good. Come on. Lots of time to plan. I'll edit all these interruptions out.
No worries.
Lots of
Yeah, we have time. Fiance just planned her daughter's wedding, so it kind of got a little stressful for her. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, you know what? Like, let's just take our time. Like, it's a party that we say I do. I said, she thinks I think of it, it's like a cavalier approach, and it's just it's a party. And
we'll get back to the work stuff, but how did you guys meet?
Through a mutual friend. Yeah. He, no.
Castro.
A mutual friend, and her smile is what kept me like.
I'm looking at your smile too. Look at this guy's smile.
I haven't.
Anybody? Okay, do you mind giving out your Instagram? It's private, right? So people can't.
Yeah, mine's private.
Okay, never mind. All right, you have to be a friend.
Yeah, no. Just her smile. Her smile kept me interested, and I got an opportunity to see who she was. I didn't know she was a mother, and didn't understand her work ethic and her demeanor, and was just blown away.
In this industry or another?
She is in the workers' compensation industry.
And she's a single mom. She was single.
Yeah. So
now you're going to be a stepdad.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Good.
Really?
Good. I think
1 kid or 2 kids?
She has 3 children.
3?
Yeah. So we'll have a house of 4 kids because I have a daughter.
Okay, awesome.
It's
a story.
I have they're great kids. I understand where they get their greatness from.
I have to say this. This is like off topic here, but I have the utmost respect for step parents who are willing to step in. Well, and with you guys, it's reciprocal. It's on both sides. Mm-hmm. You come with your own child, and she's got 3. So like that blendedness, but just the amount of courage that it takes to step into that situation and to be a step parent is like, my hats are off. I had a step parent, and he was great, and so I didn't appreciate it at all at the time, right?
Oh, no.
You're not my dad. But nowadays, I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of balls on this level.
It does.
My hats are off.
It does, for me. I had always told my daughter it was just going to be me and her.
Yeah.
And it was, I wasn't going to settle down. It was just me and her. And I was blown away by my fiance. For me, she's the only person my daughter's ever met that I've ever talked to
Didn't meet any of the ones that
No,
never got serious enough.
never.
Smart that you didn't like commingle the.
No, I think our children are our greatest gift, and to me, I wasn't going to share her with just anybody. So for me, it took someone special to get that chance, the opportunity to meet my daughter, and just fortunate that the person I have decided to ask to marry me is a tremendous woman.
Wow.
So
it sounds like it.
I can't.
Well, you're a tremendous guy. She's lucky too, right? Okay. So you were mentioned that you have a sister, and I know you have a brother too, who's also in comp. Like, what's the deal with you guys in comp? Why aren't everybody in this?
It's a family thing. My sister is
like the Castro boys, right?
Yeah, definitely. My sister is the driver behind that. So I have.
She your older sister?
Older sister.
She's older. Okay.
Yeah, you could tell when you see her.
We'll edit that part out. No, we won't.
No, you got to share that. Yeah, so I have an older sister, a younger brother, a niece, nephew-in-law.
So if we Google Acosta, it'll all come up. Comp related, really.
Yeah, comp related. We can have our own tree on workcomp.com. But so we have a family, a workcomp family.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So any regrets, maybe a strong word, but any regret that you didn't go the probation route, and that side and jumped over here instead?
It was tough when I got the call from Riverside County. I had already got promoted twice.
So eventually probation, there was a position available and offered to you.
There was 3 offers. So I got offered from San Bernardino, San Diego, and Riverside County. But by the time they had reached out to me, I had been promoted twice, and I was actually making good money for a 22-year-old.
Really?
Yeah.
So it didn't make any sense then.
No.
You enjoyed it enough.
Yeah. And that's the weird part I tell people is I really enjoy work comp.
Why is that?
I don't think you ever get the same day. You will never have Groundhog Day. You can have 100 claims that are the same injury.
On paper.
Yeah, on paper, same age, same sex.
Even the same company?
Same company, same position, and you'll get 100 different outcomes.
Really? Is each one like a puzzle you have to put together?
It's really
or like a case you have to solve kind of thing?
It is. Everybody says claims are claims, and they are in a sense, but they're never the same. And I think the beautiful part is you rely on your experience because they take so many twists and turns and come from left field. You can help this person tremendously, answer every phone call, respond to every email, get to the doctor's office, call them, get everything approved,
do everything right,
and then you get hit with an application from an attorney, and you're just like, where did this come from? So I think, work comp.
You don't take it personally though, do you?
There's sometimes you do.
What?
Yeah, there's sometimes you do. And I'm just like,
we had this thing going on, but now you hired this attorney and get between us.
I try to always be even keel with everybody, but sometimes with the people that I've helped out, I tell them, oh, now you want to call me because your attorney's not calling you back, huh?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I can't talk to you, so you have to call your attorney.
Voicemail. Or yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And I love telling them that after I've helped them.
Sorry, you hired an attorney now. I'm not allowed to. So they love it.
Man, it would, I could tell you, but, your attorney sent out this letter says we can't have any conversations with you, so you have to contact him. So, it's good. It's sweet revenge. You get those little victories. You get those little victories in work comp because for the most part, the system is set up to award injured workers the treatment and care that they need. Some of these people are, professionals.
Going from employer to employer and claiming injuries.
Yeah, going
that happens.
Yeah. We just came across one that has, and it's just funny because one of his old employers handled by Broadspire and his current employer is handled by Broadspire. So I'm like, and I was talking to him, I'm like,
can you pull the old records?
No. Well, we can, but we have to subpoena the records because we can't share information, even though we're Broadspire and it's a whole, we have to subpoena the records because they're two separate.
Who would say no, though? I mean, right? It's your compatriots in some other branch, right?
Yeah, but we still have to follow the state
they
mandates, and we talk, but in this case, we actually make the claim private, so we can't peek into each other's file. We can pick up the phone and have a conversation, but we can't just eavesdrop onto their claim notes and say, oh, this is what they're doing in this file.
Look at you. Abiding by the rules.
You have to. You will definitely get your hand slapped.
Do you like working for Broadspire so far? Because you just, I think, are pretty new there, right?
Yeah. It's a year and a half.
Okay. That new?
Not that new, but
Okay.
still new.
So far, so good, huh?
Broadspire has been really good to me.
Really?
I have the fortune of working with my best friend.
Who's that?
Mary Merritt.
I've heard about Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. She would be a wonderful person to get
That's
on
what
the
I heard
podcast.
too. Yeah.
She has a lot of stories.
These guys love her.
Yeah. She's a great girl. She truly is. She's been my best friend.
Oh, yeah. Rick, what's that you have right there? He has...
I'm going to see her tonight, so I will take it to her. Cool. Yeah. So, when times get tough and you sometimes you do get frustrated and you still, need to blow off some steam.
She's literally your best friend?
She is.
Mm-hmm. Like even outside of work?
Yeah.
Really? You guys chit chat and
all the time,
and families hang out on weekends?
Family.
Really?
She's there. She's been my best friend probably for at least 10 years.
Was she one of the mentors that you had alluded to earlier?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I didn't like her when I first met her.
Why not? You're so mean.
She was just, it's funny. We worked at, I met her at Gallagher Bassett. We were on the same team and our supervisor went off on leave. And I probably was there for maybe 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Didn't know anybody at the company. So, to me, I was just like, do your job, go home. No need to do anything else. And one evening, I'm like, it's late and I hear somebody just spewing my Spanish out. And I'm like, I look around.
On the phone?
Yeah, on the phone. And I'm like looking around and I'm like, there's nobody here. Like, who the hell is this? And I think it's with the lien claimant. And she's just arguing. And I'm like, so I'm looking around and I'm like, no. So I walk past her door and I'm like, there's no, because at the time she had really blonde hair and she has really blue eyes.
Okay.
So I was like, there's no way this valley has speaks Spanish. Like, yeah, whatever. So I walk by and there's nobody. I walk the other way, there's nobody. I just finally just peek in her office and I'm like, what's going on? And it's her. And I was like,
did that Spanish come out of your...
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, her hair's bleached. She's wearing blue contacts. There's no way. But she's half Mexican and half Spaniard. So she gets the blonde hair, blue eyes from her dad's side.
Yeah.
We just hit it off, started talking little by little. She eventually became my supervisor. So
was that hard, by the way, when your friend got on?
No, it actually helped our friendship.
Really?
Like sparked the friendship because
you didn't mind?
Didn't know her. I think she got promoted within like a month and a half and just was like, okay, this is who I had to deal with now. Yeah. So let me do my job or, whatever. And then, she just started picking my brain. She started roundtabling claims. And
what does that mean?
So as a supervisor, you want to understand the philosophy that your examiners are taking and how they're approaching claims and, kind of seeing if you can help them in any way. So she pulled up a claim and she's like, hey, can you pull the file and come to my office? And I'm like...
And you kind of have to justify your decisions along the way.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh man, what did I do? It's my supervisor. I got to figure out let me...
Get that feeling. At 40 years old, if I get called in, it feels like I'm being called into the office.
Yeah, in the principal's office.
Yeah.
So
I'd be nervous.
I pulled up the file, printed out my current plan of action, and just took the file to her office and we sat down and she's like, tell me what's going on. So I just broke the file down to her and she's like, okay, what about this? Have you thought about this? And I think sometimes as a claims examiner, we kind of put the blinders on and we just see our tunnel vision. This is how I've always done it. This is the way it's always been successful. This is the way I can always do it. But she really taught me a lesson that you can learn from anybody. And I try to apply that today. I don't care if you're a supervisor, an examiner, an assistant, a law clerk. You can learn anything from anyone.
It's a good life lesson. I mean, that you can learn from anyone.
You can.
No one's better than anybody else.
You're not.
I've learned that.
And you can find different tactics and different philosophies that you can apply to yourself from people. And to me, that's one of the things I try to do is pull something new every day. And it's hard. Because sometimes in claims we're just, no, this is the way it's got to be. This is the way I've done it forever. But I just learned a new lesson from one of my new examiners. And
what is it?
To how to get people comfortable speaking that don't speak as much English as you do. And, just open line like, hey, do you speak Spanish? And I tell them, no, I understand it, but hablando muy poquito.
Yeah.
And I ask them like, hablando inglés, and we just open it, and it's funny because you start speaking Spanglish,
Okay.
And you get comfortable where, for me, I get comfortable where I can say the Spanish words, and then they get comfortable where they can speak portions in English, and we work through the situation.
Interesting, because like there's both sides. I envision like this valley, and then these bridges are attempting to be made across the valley in imperfect English and imperfect Spanish. And they don't really reach all the way, but they reach enough where there can be sort of a meeting of minds, and then you can have this rapport with somebody, and then you can build from there.
And to me, that's been the learning experience: is you build that relationship and you build that trust that they will call you and they will talk to you. And it's like, without having that, extending that olive branch, we would have been like, oh, I got to call an interpreter. I got to get this person on the phone. Let me call you back.
Yeah.
And it's so impersonal.
Right.
And it's just like, are they calling like
because then it's like, well, he says blah, 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 blah. She says this and that. As opposed to they can feel the other person on the other side attempting to reach across and build that bridge to
yeah. And you get that olive branch. And
it saves a lot of time and then money.
It does. It cuts down on your expenditures, and you get the opportunity to build a relationship with an injured worker that may have been putting a wall up, and you get to break it down. And I think that's one of it's one of the best things, and sometimes one of the worst things, because of, when you help somebody and then they go get the attorney, it's just, like, why'd you waste my time if you were just going to go get an attorney? Yeah. And sometimes, as claims people, we do feel that way. We feel like, man, you burned that bridge with me. I did everything I could with you, and you just went and got an attorney. Like, you just turned your back on me. You got dumped. You're like third grade. You got dumped.
You totally got dumped.
You were going to put the wedding ring on your third grade crush, and
I know.
She went and picked a different guy to be.
Do you remember like giving them notes to your third grade crush and saying, "Do you like me?" Check yes or no.
Right? Yeah, that's how it feels. And then you get the note back, and it's
no. But also, you don't know what other voices are talking to them at home or around them or at work and their friends and stuff. You know what I mean? So, who knows?
Yeah, and it's hard because unless you've gone through the workers' compensation process before, a lot of the language that's used in the letters and in the correspondence that we have, it's state mandated, and a lot of it's legal jargon. And the last thing that...
I understand, boring, nobody wants to read it.
And the last thing every letter says is you have the right to go get an attorney.
Right.
And it's just like,
True.
It sucks and it's scary because, I've come across a situation multiple times where you're trying to settle the claim and they fear they're signing their life away. And
really?
It's just like,
they don't really understand.
They don't really understand it because you got 9 pages of a stipulation with request for an award packet, and you got 8 for a compromise and release, and it's all legal jargon. And the only part people understand is, here's the dollar amount that you're settling for.
Yeah.
Here's what you're getting. And it's just, for people that English is a second language, they're fearful. And, rightfully so, because they don't understand it. They have an insurance person calling them, hey, let's settle. I need to settle your claim. What's going on?
Right.
Hey, you got to do this. And, it's nerve wracking.
Hey, so when you were at EOS, right?
Yes.
That was the first one. And then they got bought out by TriStar. Did you stay were you still with them during that transition?
Yeah, I went to TriStar. We worked in their Santa Ana office.
Okay.
So I was there almost 3 years.
Like right on 4th Street, right? Or Golden Circle?
Yeah, 4th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that Carl's Jr. They have that little shopping center behind it.
Oh, man. That little shopping center has my favorite. That's right.
Yeah.
Johnny Rick's parents.
Is it?
It's Johnny's Burger now. It's no longer Carl's Jr. And it's also where Nikki's Indian food is.
Yes. Oh, is it? Yeah. Their bobas. Yeah, solid as a rock.
Are you think what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Right after this?
All right.
What do you got going on? Nothing?
Yeah, right.
Wait, you're engaged. You got plenty to do.
No, but yeah.
Because that's TriStar. Okay, so then how long were you there?
Worked at I think it was almost 3 years.
Okay.
And then I went to Sedgwick.
Riverside.
And worked in Ontario.
Oh.
That's where I actually met
John Castro.
John Enright.
What did you think of John when the first time you saw him? He was this fiery red.
Young dude that had really like big hair.
Big red hair.
Yeah. It was like flared out. Yeah, that's true. We had a good times. They were our preferred vendors. Yeah, they were perfect. MicroQuick went to Cedric to work on the AT&T account and learned how to handle. Well, I was still learning how to handle workers' comp, but I also got the the privilege to work on their short-term disability claims.
Oh, really? Why is that a privilege?
Because I think you're just, when you go to work comp, it's usually just work comp.
Yeah.
So it was an integrated program where we did work comp and short-term disability for the AT&T program.
Okay.
And brand new building, brand new everything. So we got to see how Cedric built their empire.
Yeah.
Brick by brick. And
it was there where you met Scotty Benton.
Yes, that's where
right away or like later on?
He was there right away. It was a new program and a new office, so he was there for implementation, but he was overseeing the Riverside office. So we initially started in Riverside with our training program. And then once they got the Ontario office set, that's when we transitioned to the Ontario office. But Scotty was overseeing the Riverside office, and he was part of the training program for the AT&T account initially when we were in Riverside.
Are you and Scotty still like buddies?
I still talk to that. Scotty will always be a mentor for me for the end of my life. He is a very influential man in my life, and I appreciate everything he did for me. So I'll never leave. He has a saying, Benton train. So I'm always going to...
What's the second word? Benton?
Train.
Oh, train. Okay.
Yeah, so
train.
Benton train. So
what does that mean?
It's just his crew. It's the people that he
rolls with.
Track. He's taken down and pushed to get better and pushed to be everything they can be. And I'll always be a member.
Dude, you're an alumnus of that Benton.
Yeah.
And then like a...
Always will.
Yeah. He's got to be really proud of how you turned out then.
I hope so. We just talked to...
If you're listening, got one of your students here.
Yes, sir. He is the ultimate sensei. So, but yeah, I just talked to him a couple weeks ago. So I know I forgot the position he holds at Cedric right now, but he travels a lot. So we're trying to link up back and watch a game this year. So
it's awesome. It's awesome.
We'll see.
So it's so cool. Well, it's so important to have mentors in your life, and then take from them what you need and grow and grow and grow and mature. But then also at a certain point, mentor others. Right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest keys. I think
it's like a responsibility to pay it forward.
Yeah, because the people that take the time out to help you and give you what they can give you, I think it's your responsibility in turn to return that favor to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things I try to do with my management style.
Yeah.
Is, try to
take some of the younger cubs and bring them up.
Yeah, definitely try to give them everything I can. Use my experiences in this game and allow them not to make the same mistakes I did.
So good.
Allow them to...
Plus, with your fiance, are her children younger than your daughter?
No. Okay. She has two older daughters.
Okay, and then older than yours.
Her son and my daughter are within an age, within a year.
See, but then there's like a built-in mentorship there.
Yeah.
Like at home.
Yeah. My daughter is fortunate that her soon-to-be stepdaughters are really good role models, and they're really responsible and mature. And my daughter is probably too much like her dad for her own good.
Oh, really?
So we have to learn on our own path.
What's an example of that you would say?
Man, the recent one is she wants to work.
She wants to get a job.
She wants to get a job. She wants to go to Starbucks.
That's good, right?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Too young. 17?
Not too young. I think, if she needed to, she can go work, but she doesn't need to.
Okay.
I want her to concentrate on her senior year and just focus on enjoying this last year and not trying to grow up too fast. In less than a year, she's going to have all the time she needs to go work and find a job.
It's true. It's the next 40, 50 years are all filled with work. So maybe don't jump in so fast.
And that's what I tell her. I said, you know what? I'll trade you in a heartbeat. If my biggest responsibility is to do homework, I said, I'll trade you in a heartbeat. I said, I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about clothes. I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to worry about having insurance for you, making sure your eyes are good, your teeth are good, your body's good.
Until you're there, until you are under the responsibility of being a parent and everything falls on you, nobody can understand what that means, right?
No.
We're all parents in this room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It ain't easy. They're sick. They got bills.
Oh, man. My daughter
aches and pains.
A little sick baby when she was little. So, that's the biggest lesson I hope she can take away is allow this year or the next 4 years, if she decides she wants to go to college, to be a learning process and have fun with it. That's the one thing I think a lot of kids, and even myself. I just wanted to be an adult, and I just wanted to do my own thing and grow up. But you forget how fun being a child is, and how carefree being a child is, and how enjoyable it can be to only have to worry about homework. And I just had this conversation with her last night, and I said, just do your homework. You don't have nothing else to worry about. Do your homework.
Does she listen, or does she say, no, I want to get out there, I want to get the money, and I want to go work?
She's doing really good right now. So she has all A's, and it's first semester, but she's just so driven to be independent. And I think it's, the upbringing I've tried to tell her is that, I don't want her to be dependent on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to, if she needs to, change her own oil, and change the tire.
Learn how to do those things, right?
So I've taught her some of those things, but I just wanted her to know that she's capable of doing anything she wants, no matter what she wants to do. Just do it.
Where do you think you learned your work ethic from?
I would say my mom's my biggest inspiration.
Your folks still around?
Yeah. My dad actually lives like 5 minutes away from her.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So I took him lunch today and we hung out for a little bit. But my mom is a warehouse worker.
Still is?
She's
amazing.
She's that's her pride and joy.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
Lifting up those pallets.
She loves her job. She doesn't want to retire. She's 74 years old.
Whoa.
I think the first year I worked, I made more than she's ever made. And
unbelievable. She's got to be so proud. Because that's what you want for your kids, right? You want your kids to be better than you. The apple falls from the tree. Well, you want it to fall far from the tree and to grow bigger than you ever were, right? That's what I want for my kids too. So she's got to be super proud of you.
I hope so. And that's one thing I do hope. But yeah, she never calls out sick. Day in and day out, gets up at 4:30 in the morning to be at work at 6, makes $12 an hour.
Whoa.
But that is the biggest pride giver that she's ever had is she earns her $400 check, $420. Nah, she just, I think, she's in a warehouse. There's no air conditioning. The summer's horrible.
City's that?
She works in Santa Fe Springs. No, Santa Fe Springs.
Okay, just as hot.
So for me, that's, I think, where I get some of my drive from is like, how can I call out sick when I sit in an office? I'm in air conditioning. I get to wear, jeans and a t-shirt to work. Yeah. And I don't break my back like my mom. So, I think that's one thing I pull from her. Everything that she takes pride in. I motivate myself to say, like, I don't want to get up today, but my mom's already up. My mom's at work. My mom's lifting pallets, wrapping pallets, driving a forklift. I got to go punch keys on a keyboard. Like, how do I?
Wham.
Yeah. So, that's probably one of my biggest drivers.
Whoa. What's your dad do?
My dad is retired. He was a engineer for GM. Okay. So he's been retired for, I think, the last 14 years. Oh, so he put in his time. He began working at GM when he was 17, went through junior college, got his degree, put in the engineer program, and he worked there every day nonstop. And he's rewarded well because he hasn't had to work in 14 years and gets to get a pension and relax and enjoy life.
Were your parents divorced?
They are separated. That's the one good thing my dad did say. What is that? No matter if it didn't work out, like if time comes and my card is pulled before yours, you can have my pension, my Social Security. He just wanted to make sure to take care of her.
He never remarried.
No,
they're still legally.
They're still legally married.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's the one good thing about the situation. My dad did tell her that, no matter what, at the end of the day, if my card gets pulled, it's yours. So.
That's how your dad puts it?
Yeah.
My card gets pulled?
My card gets pulled, it's yours. So,
What's the card? Like a librarian card? Yeah. The Dewey Decimal System. Your number's up, buddy. Come on up. The library in the sky calls.
Yeah, it's funny because growing up, they always talked about, we're Mexicans, so we're Catholic. So they have these awkward beliefs. And my grandpa, my mom's dad, passed away when he was 62. So my mom all my life was telling me, like, I have this vision that I'm going to be like my dad and pass away
die at 62
and she's going to be 75. It's just, they both feel that way. Like my dad told me, like his dad passed away when he's 63. Oh, so I don't plan on living long. And I'm like, no, you guys are just out there.
people didn't live as long as that they do now. People used to smoke like chimneys. I mean, for one thing. And then the life expectancy has only increased in the last few years because of modern medicine and just better healthcare and things like that. But it is a little bit superstitious to think, oh well, when my parents go, that's when I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
When my card is pulled.
Yeah, it's so funny, and I just tell them like, you're lucky. Every day you get is. I think my grandma always told me like, tomorrow's never promised, so live today for your fullest. And that's something I've tried to do, but it's hard. It's hard because
What makes it hard?
just struggles in life, worrying about my daughter growing up and now planning a wedding and, but I think it's just life. Life gives you challenges every day and you just have to stand up and you get hit in the chin every day. It's just how you rebound and how you come back from it.
Mm-hmm. Can you think of something that was a hit in the chin that you care to share? Work, personal, life?
One big thing was in college, my freshman year, I tore my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus.
Were you playing sports?
Playing football.
Yeah, because you're a big guy.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Okay, you're a big guy.
Yeah. I think the second doctor's appointment, the doctor told me, like, you're not going to play football anymore. Like, your knee's just, it's gone.
For you, was that like, well, did you want to turn pro someday?
I mean, that was the goal.
NFL was likely, hopefully in sight.
In the sights, in the tunnel.
When they tell you that.
I hadn't played long. I had only played my senior year in high school, and then my freshman year, I blew my knee up. I just had fallen in love with the sport, and it was just like, it was so taking all the wind out of my sail. And I was like, what do you mean? And the doctor threw my MRI up on the little light board and turned it on, and he's like, see all these little dots? It's like, that's your ligament.
It's not supposed to look like that.
Like, see this one? That's what it's supposed to look like. And I'm like, wow.
Dude, how does that feel?
It was a punch in the gut like no other, just was like, whoa. But I sulked probably for like a week, and I was just like, man. And I had a really good football coach that I still keep in touch with, and
what did he say?
He's just like, well, you can make that decision. No doctor can tell you. If you want to play, you can play. If you don't want to play, you're not going to play. And it took a week, sulked in, and I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do. And
you went out there again?
Yeah.
Kept playing?
Yeah, went out, got named All-State. I was honorable mention All-American, and got my Division I scholarship, and luckily turned that into 2 degrees, and just fortunate.
Amazing.
Just fortunate. No college loans, no nothing. Scholarship. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
It was a great opportunity.
So even though the career didn't work out in pro football, didn't matter. Ultimately, it didn't matter because you were able to parlay all that into free education.
Yeah. Free education, free.
Yeah, knows how to work the system.
Free degree. But I think it was a life lesson.
Not easy. Yeah. What was the life lesson?
That, sometimes your dreams, get crushed and you have to come up with new ones. I think that was the biggest thing for me. Was that, I can blow out my other knee. So one thing I can't blow out is a degree. And that piece of paper opens so many doors. So
nobody can take that away, right?
Nobody can. It didn't sink in on the value of that piece of paper until I was a senior.
Senior in college?
Senior in college. And
why did it all of a sudden become apparent that it was valuable?
When I was doing my internship. So I got to go to 3 different companies, and they're like, oh, you're going to have a degree in like 2 months?
You're graduating soon.
Yeah. There's a seat right here. And I'm like, why?
Why is there a seat there?
Why would I, be coming in? And they're like, you have a degree. You're solid.
You're in the club.
Wow. Okay.
I never got in that club. And I always regret it. I do, because I went from high school. I mean, I wanted to be a rock star, right? I didn't become a rock star, obviously.
Maybe not in the music.
No.
But
I think in any field, I never became a rock star.
In the field that you're currently employed, I'm pretty sure the 3 of you guys are rock stars right now.
These 2 are the rock stars. I'm the manager. Yeah. No, but like I started Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa area, and I did like almost got my AA, and then I just gave up. I failed history or something like that. I never went back. But I always regret not having that degree and that piece of paper. It's more than a piece of paper because of what it means. That it's not necessarily the knowledge that you gain having a degree, but it's the key that can open up potential doors.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's the wedge that keeps the door open in so many arenas and so many fields that.
Would you have been able to get where you're at today without a degree?
I don't think I would. I think I've had many opportunities, and I think people were opened eyes when they got to see my resume and I have 2 degrees. And I don't think a lot of people knew.
But what's the second degree? Because
I have a
I
have a criminology with a minor in sociology, and I also have a associate's degree in liberal arts.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I was going to be a teacher until I actually had to go into a classroom with kids.
Really? And that wasn't for you?
And I was like, no.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That would be like hell for me. I love kids, but as long as they're related to me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That too.
I saw we used to do the teacher's aide, and there was a week that one of our teachers had the flu. So me and my buddy, they were like, yeah, you guys are going to be like teacher's assistants. You guys got to write up a game plan, and you guys got to come up and teach the class for a week. And
as a teacher aide.
As a teacher's aide. So my friend took the lead role. He was going to be the teacher, and I was going to be the aide. So I was like, yeah,
easy.
Do your thing. They abused him so bad that week.
What age was the...
we were 4th graders. I was like...
Age, they're like so... almost like little inhuman.
Yeah. Brutally honest, and never had a...
You're ugly.
Yeah. Never had a question that could ever be answered, because then you get the why.
Why?
Why are you right? Right? Why is the book right? And I looked at my book.
Why is the sky blue?
And he was just getting tormented. And it was just like, we couldn't even take a break during lunch because they would just come sit at our table and they would let him have it. And we had to play good cop, bad cop. So he was trying to be the good cop. And I was back. I'm like, oh, you're going to get suspended. You got to go pull a card. Like, I was just having him, go pull a card.
Pull a card means like a discipline kind of thing?
So everybody starts at green, and then yellow is a warning. Brown was like lunch detention. Yeah. Red was after school detention, and black was you were going to get suspended. Right. And my buddy was just being too nice. Like, no. And I'm like, you have to put your foot down. Like, you got to set the role. This is your class. Like, it's not their class. And he was just too nice. And I was like, I would have been fired, because I would have been like, yeah, you're suspended for the day.
Well, with your own child and now with your stepchildren, well, they're older, but maybe this wouldn't apply. But do you consider yourself a disciplinarian?
For my daughter, for sure. For my daughter.
Yeah, well, sure. Because you wouldn't let her have makeup, and she's 17.
Yeah. No, disciplinary.
When is makeup okay for you?
Now, finally, senior year.
Okay.
Yeah. She could wear what's the
eyeliner, or like that?
Lip gloss, or like mascara.
Yeah,
I think it's the eyelash thing. I'm not tuned into it, but she just wanted to grow up too fast, and I told her no.
Hey, John, when are you gonna let your daughters wear?
Yeah, that's true.
Makeup.
You got 2 of them.
Johnny's got 2 daughters.
It's hard, guys, because my mother-in-law gave my kids.
She already gave them. Really?
As I did, I didn't want it to happen.
I think that's all of us.
So it's just plain makeup,
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Do they have pierced ears already? What's the age to allow a daughter to have pierced ears?
She was young.
Like 12?
Yeah, no, she was like 2.
What?
Yeah. I think that's part of the Hispanic culture. Hispanic culture, I think.
My daughter Ruby, I didn't let her until she was 12, I think.
Oh, really?
Then we went to the mall and...
Yeah, again, I think in the Hispanic culture, we do it really early. Like, so we don't have
2 days after birth,
Usually like the first
months. I was saying there was ear pierced. Okay.
Because of other reasons, definitely do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally couple days.
Yeah, usually like within the first 6 months.
Everybody at home, we're going to take a poll. What's the appropriate age for your daughter to get her ears pierced?
Yeah, it's really quick. I think you just get the.
I'm interested in learning just second.
Come on the mic. I don't know. Johny Castro's got a question for Johny Acosta. Why is there 2 Johnnies in the room?
Right?
What's that?
So you mentioned that you had Scotty Benton was one of your mentors, but I'm really interested in knowing who the second person was.
Oh, the second person. Well, I've had a really good amount of mentors, but one I would have to say that's ongoing is my sister.
Okay.
She is
Keenan?
she's at Corval.
Carvel, right?
Yeah, Corval.
Okay.
She
What makes her such a good mentor?
just growing up, she was
Like your whole life?
my whole life.
Okay.
She's always been like our second mom. She's raised us, and we were terrible kids, me and my older brother. We're a year apart, so we've had to share a room until we got to high school. And my mom and dad were insistent that where I went, he went. Where he went, I went. So we couldn't even have like separate friends. Like all his friends were my friends, all my friends were his friends. So yeah, it's horrible. And we shared a room till my brother got to freshman year. Then he got his own room. So we were just, I mean, the littlest thing would tick us off, and we were fighting, and we were not like wrestling. We were punching each other. Like we were just boys. And my sister,
Your brother's big too. Like you're 6'5". Are they also big guys?
no, I'm the tallest one, but they're all like 6'1", 6'2", big dudes.
Oh, tall. Your dad must be huge, right?
He used to be. My mom and dad used to be tall. They're both
Okay,
they're both in
okay.
their 70s now.
In their
They've shrunk. So my mom and I think in my mom in her heyday, she was like 5'9", 5'10". She was the tallest in her family. And then my dad was probably like 6'1", almost 6'2".
Wow.
So, and then my grandpa and my uncle were probably 6'3", 6'4".
Wow.
And then my mom's the oddity in her family. Like we have the typical Mexican family where they're like 4'4".
That's normal.
And then there's my mom, and then it's like 4'4" for the rest. So,
Her mom at the
my mom grew
What
up.
does that mean?
Yeah, my
Okay.
my mom's sisters and brothers are always like,
Gotcha.
"You're the mailman," or
So I learned.
okay.
I pick up my Spanish lingo from these guys every day.
Oh, you have to,
These guys are amazing. Hey, what do you think of these Castro boys anyway?
man.
Pretty nice
You
guys.
couldn't pick a better brother set to work with.
Seriously.
They're tremendous.
We're
They're
lucky.
very loyal. I think
These dudes are like rolling with like a posse or something like that. They have my back. Like
yeah, they
unbelievable. Like we have like a little gang here.
yeah, no, it is.
It's
It really feels like
benevolent gang.
when you meet them and you get to meet them and understand them, and you're really not just an associate of work. You're a friend, you're a brother, and I could think we don't, when we text, like I've known these guys since
Yeah, how'd you guys
2000.
go
Quick,
at Micro days?
Micro
That was
Quick.
Cedric.
Yeah, we just text
Yeah.
brother, like, hey brother, what's going
I
on?
don't know. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Same Centennial and
Husky born, Husky
not
bred,
Centennial.
Husky till the day you're dead.
Yeah.
It's the Corona Huskies.
Yeah,
Centennial.
Centennial Huskies. I know where that is. On Main Street.
yeah,
Right up
yep,
from 91.
right there off of Rimpaw, Maine.
What year did you graduate? Or do you don't want to?
96.
You're young, dude.
No, I'm old. I just turned 41.
No, dude, that's so young.
You know what? To me, age is just a number. It's how you feel.
It totally is.
It's really how you feel.
It totally is. You know what was the hardest birthday? I have no idea, but when I turned 42, I thought I was so depressed for like 3 months before and 3 months after. For some reason, I felt like 40 was easy. I'm no rationale for any of this, but like 42 I was so depressed. But then after that, I just own it. I'm 48 today, and I'm not proud or I'm not sad about it. It's just I'm 48. It's just a number.
Yeah,
like you said.
It is. It truly is. Like,
You're 41.
I'm 41.
Johny, how old are you right now?
37.
37. Ricky, 35. These guys are young.
Yeah, they're the young bucks. These guys are young. But yeah, I think it's just a number. It's just how you feel. It's how you carry yourself. Because I know really, really old 30-year-olds.
My gosh, that's so true.
And you have really, really young 50-year-olds.
It's all about the mindset, right?
Yeah, it is. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you think about it. It's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be 40, you can act 40. But
what your version of 40 is, I mean, when I was a kid, 40 seemed like ancient, like I'm super old dad kind of thing, you know what I mean? But now I'm like 8 years beyond that even. I mean, I hope I'm not that. I want to stay like fresh. I want to stay present. I want to stay like I don't need to stay young. I want to stay like just kind of like with it, or
I think, you know what,
relevant.
The key is just being true to yourself. Like, be who you are. Like, you know, I'm 40 years old and I still listen to rap music.
Yeah.
You know, I don't listen to the new stuff my daughter plays, but I still listen to rap music. I still listen, you know, one of my biggest things in the morning that gets me going is Big Boy, 92.3. And I listened to him when I was in high school. And I'm like,
He's still on.
man, I graduated like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and he's still there. So to me, it's how you feel, it's how you carry yourself, and how
You said something pretty cool. You said, be true to yourself. So,
yeah.
what does that mean?
To me, it's just be you. I think life's too short to put costumes and masks on for different sets of people. I think that's one thing I've always tried to be for myself, is just be who I am. Who I am at work is who I am outside of work, is who I am with my family, is who I am with my friends. It's who I try to be with my clients, business associates. You know, there's different, levels of me, but I think I try to be myself through and through.
Was there ever a time that you felt like maybe you did put on a mask, or, tried to be somebody else?
Yeah. When I was moving up in the industry, going from an examiner to a supervisor and eventually a manager, was, I thought I had to fit in. I thought I had to copy, the people that were already at the table, the people that were in those positions. And one day I kind of got frustrated. I'm like, that's just not me. And, I just told myself, be true.
What's an example of that, like square peg, round hole kind of thing, where you thought you needed to be a certain way? Like,
just, for me, it was
join the
just,
table.
I've seen it in the industry where people get a title and they carry themselves differently.
All of a sudden, yesterday it was Joe Blow, normal guy, and now they've promoted you, and now you have these put on airs.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I thought, man, do I need to do that? Do I need?
I guess that's
person
what it does, right?
That's how you have to act now. And it probably took me like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and I said, that's not me.
It's pretty fast, actually.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to try to pretend I was something that I wasn't. And I just caught myself one day and I said, you know what? Be you. Being you is what got you in this, in the position to be considered for the role. Being you is who got you this position, and being you is who's going to make you successful.
Such good advice, dude, because like recently, and I'm 48 years old. I mean, I'm older than you. I'm the old man in the room. I used to be the young guy everywhere I went. Now I'm the old man. But anyway, the more that I can just embrace and accept who I am, the better my life just seems to flow. Whenever I've tried to put on a mask or put on airs or try and be some version that I thought would be calculated and the equation and all the math would add up to become, and to slot myself into some spot, that never works out. It's so disingenuous. And
so
then
fake.
Fake.
So fake.
And the results never yield what you think they're going to yield. Way better is to just own yourself, own warts and all, and just show up. And like this podcast, this silly little podcast, it's super fun. By the way, you know what I mean? You've been a great guest.
Tremendous.
But we know nothing about podcasting. We've owned these microphones for like 2 weeks now, or 1 week. And I always have, this has been like one of on my little to-do list for a while, thinking, it would be cool if we started a podcast. It's one of those things that could just sit there, forever. And the fear was that, well, I stutter, or I don't sound that articulate, and whatever, all these fears. And I need to like really like sound a certain way. Screw all that. The best thing is just to show up and turn them on and just be Todd. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's only one Todd here. I might as well be him, right? There's only one Johny Acosta.
Nobody can do it better.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody can do it better. And it's funny that, we had this conversation because I was like, man, do I have to dress up? Like,
See?
I'm like, it's Friday.
Human nature.
Like, these guys always, John and Rick always all GQ over there. Slacks and designer slippers and, butts all clean cut. And I was like, man, like, I got to dress up. And I was like, getting up this morning, I said, you know what? It's too early. Like, these guys are going to get me how I go to work on a Friday.
Thank you.
So
thank you for showing up just as you.
I think
all we wanted.
I think
That's the best version too.
yeah. I mean,
The authentic version is the best version.
and that's the only thing you can do is be yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, and that's a lesson I tell my daughter every day. She doesn't respond, but I send her a morning text and I send her a snap at night, and I always tell her, like I said, be yourself. The one goal today is be yourself, be a leader, and do what makes you best. You know, she never responds, and I probably think she's like, oh, here's the text of the day. Let me just be like, oh, I love you.
That's my boring day.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go.
Soapbox advice.
But that's one thing I always tell her.
That stuff soaks in though.
I hope
That
so.
doesn't bounce off into space. That stuff seeps in, and she is the person that you've raised her to be for 17 years. It's all baked in, and you've done a great job. I guarantee it.
I hope so. I think that's probably the biggest goal and the biggest reward I'll ever have is raising an independent daughter that does what she wants to do and is successful at what she wants to be. I tell her, let me sit behind the desk. Go chase your dreams. Figure out what you want to do. There's only one day, you're going to come across it that you realize that I don't work because I love what I do. Some kids out there and some adults, they don't even get that opportunity. I think I'm fortunate enough to.
You love what you do?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Very few people can say that they love what they do.
I don't love it every day.
Well, I mean, because
love it.
It's the human condition, right? Even your most passionate hobby or whatever can have its bad days, you know what I mean? And it's just life. But to be able to say, hey, I love what I do most of the time within a certain threshold is quite a privilege.
It is.
It's crazy.
It truly is. And
most people hate their jobs, I think.
Yeah.
Even in comp.
Yeah, they do. You have a lot of people that come in just for Friday to get my check. And, that's one thing I've always told, when I've interviewed or anything, I don't want to be somebody that just collects a check. I want to be somebody that impacts my team, impacts the company, or impacts the client. I think you can go collect a check at Walmart. So if you want to do that, go do it. I don't feel, and I hope, the team that I get to supervise and oversee.
Yeah, you're on the 99-cent account, right?
Yeah, 99-cent, Mission Linen, and Jackson Family Wines.
Okay, so 3 accounts.
3 accounts.
How many files you got? Each one?
99 cents is my biggest claim account, so that's probably like almost 600. And then Mission is probably
a lot,
another 100.
Okay, so 700-ish.
And Jackson's probably like 65, 70.
So almost like 800 or so.
700, 750, almost 800.
That's a lot, man. How do you possibly manage all those?
Just take it.
Is that normal?
I think it's industry standard. It's usually like between 650, 750.
Okay, and you can manage that?
It takes my every day.
Yeah.
I know. So, but I work with.
They're all in different stages. They're all in different positions of the pipeline.
Yes.
Right. So they're not all like, putting out fires every minute of each one. Some of them are kind of dormant, or some of them are like in different.
They're all active.
Wrong word, dormant. Different phases of attention required.
Yeah.
From you.
They all are active, and I love my accounts. I work with really good people. We tend to have a hot fire on each one of them every day.
Really?
Yeah. So
there's some emergency or some fire needs to be put out every day.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. A lot of my clients are really goal driven. So the end of the year is coming up. So we're just like, we need closures, we need settlements. Let's get it going. And, we do.
My advice would be get to the deposition fast. Why would I say that?
We do.
Self-serving.
We do. No, that's,
does the deposition help you guys sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a philosophy. I think it's the philosophy your client takes. Some of them want to dig their heels in, and there's claims you want to dig your heels in. Like, nope, this guy's a liar. This is 16th claim. And he's just filing application after application, and he's the same attorney, same doctor. We're going through the same routine.
Use the word professional earlier, and it's like such a good description of that kind of person. Huh?
Yeah, you'll see it from time to time. And, when they call you and they talk in work comp lingo, which unless you're an examiner or a supervisor,
know the term.
Yeah, like how do you know about your voucher? How do you know about, penalties and interest? How do you know about the MPN? But they've gone through it so many times.
That's a good tell that they've.
Yeah, You pick up like, oh yeah, he brought up the MPN. Like we didn't even talk about that.
Johnny Castro.
So I'm curious, and I know there's a lot of probably adjusters or even people maybe in the mailroom listening to you, and they want to get to your spot one day. What is something that you can, like a blueprint maybe of motivational or something that you recommend they do to get to where you're at right now?
That's a great question. I have worked in every position from claims assistant to claims manager. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that I received was invest in yourself. Take the time to go and get your training, your IEA classes, your SIP. Check the boxes that people can't hold against you, and that are in your own control. Because there's so many things that you're not going to be able to present. If you're an examiner and you don't have any supervisor experience, you can't check the box being a supervisor because you've never done it. But having your WCCA, your WCCP, your SIP, taking initiative to say, you know what, when my supervisor's out, let me help. Let me assign claims. Let me watch the team. Because you can't artificially implant that in yourself. You have to go out and invest in yourself to do it. I think, and it was funny because I hated doing it. When Mary was out, when we were in Gallagher, I'd be the last one to volunteer to cover it. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's extra work on a Friday. I ain't got time for that. Like, I just want to do my job, get in, get out. But she forced me to do it. Sometimes you have to force yourself to invest in yourself. Sometimes you have to be the person that pushes you to go to those classes. I mean, if it means you want to move up and become a manager, go start at community college. Get your AA. Get that piece of paper that can help you.
So you would recommend somebody to go get their degree if they were in that and then kind of like stuck somewhere, maybe get their degree, get their master's even.
Yeah. I mean,
why not?
I think that's the one thing is you're your best investment. At the end of the day, you're your biggest investment.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're going to invest in yourself is going to pay off. If you don't want to invest, then you're going to be in the same rut and you're going to be complaining.
This time next year.
Yeah. And it's not going to get better because you're not willing to take the opportunity to invest in yourself.
I think I should go back and get my degree.
It's it is like, and it's
Everyone's go back to school together.
Yeah.
it is.
You know what? That'll be a new podcast series. TOA boys go back to college. Can you imagine?
But you know what? To be honest, sometimes school isn't for everybody. School isn't for everybody, and I know some of the most successful people that I know have a high school diploma, but they went out, they invested in themselves by going and joining the union, becoming an electrician, multitasking, going into carpentry, and now they have 3 businesses.
Great.
I'm lucky to call him a friend, and I think he's a millionaire now.
There's many ways to skin the cat.
There is,
right?
But it takes the investment.
It takes the initiative, and you got to be a doer.
Yeah.
You can't just sit around and
you can't hope something falls in your lap.
Hope that some knight in shining armor is going to come and rescue you from wherever you're at. You've got to be proactive.
Yeah. And I hope my fiance is listening because she's going to school right now and she wants to be a risk manager. And I so want to be a stay-at-home dad. I hope
you do?
Yeah. Heartbeat. I'll be Oprah's book club. I'll go back to school at the community college to take cooking classes and
that's one thing. You have like the sensitive side, man.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
About one of his poems.
Yeah. The poetry.
You know what?
The poetry.
We didn't write anything down. You had to come up and present in front of the class.
You had to read your own stuff?
No, you can't read. You had to memorize it.
What?
Yeah, it was tough.
Flunked on the first day.
Yeah, it was tough. Like I think there was only 2 guys in the class, and we're just sitting there like, man. And the teacher would just come by, and she was like, "I think you're gonna have sunsets," and she would just assign you a topic, and she's like, 5 to 8 minute presentation, next class,
and that was your topic. So you would memorize a poem that you
would have to write it,
sunsets,
and then memorize it, and you had to present because you couldn't take any note cards and you couldn't take no cliff notes. You just had to go up in front of the class and just freestyle. And it was.
How did you do with that?
Oh man, it was
like I cannot talk in public unless the only way I can speak in public is if I have done weeks of preparation and have notes and memorized.
I'd be at football practice like. Sunset. I'm like looking, and it was funny. One time we were just like, man, I have this teacher, and they're like, oh, let me guess, poems.
Yeah.
And they're just like, she's brutal, dude. because she'll put you on blast. And she was good, but she was a good teacher. Like, we learned a lot, and it was good. So, but it was tough. Like, I'd be in the hallway, like, sunset. I just remember sunsets because that was my first presentation. And I think I got like a 84% on it.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah. No, well, the girls were getting like 100, and they're just up there like the full 8.
But they were in the football always being like hammered.
Yeah. I want to go back and be like, contest that B. I could have post-concussion syndrome, and like, you're just trying to make me memorize this during the football season.
Fair. It's not fair.
But it was a good class.
Do you remember any of your poems?
No, I just remember sunsets because I was like, what do you mean sunsets? Like, what do you...
Do you mean like pink ones or like orange ones?
She was just like, come up with an idea and flow with it. And I was just like, all right.
Okay, Johnny, do you have a poem? Sunset poem? He's thinking about something right now. If you think of one, jam on this mic and do it.
Oh yeah, big hat, small hats.
What's the big hat, small hat thing?
So believe it or not, I was pretty famous.
Okay.
In second grade or third grade, I won an award for poems of the district. I had to read in front of the whole school and then all the district. And back then, I don't think they had cameras, so I don't remember.
Your mom's got a house.
Yeah, they
got some
Polaroid camera,
shaking it.
But it was about hats, and it was it was actually a lot of fun because I wrote it, or the teacher helped me write it, but it was something so fun to write.
Yeah.
I might go back to school just to write poems.
Yeah, hey.
My wife might like that.
Put a book.
Yeah.
Book out, be published.
There you go.
Dude, wives love poetry. Come on. That's the move right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the next podcasts has to be John, like, reading some of the... JP reading some of the...
like, oh, yeah.
This is what I was thinking about this morning. Cats, ats. We got them.
Dude, you are very multifaceted. You're a very interesting guy. I've known you from just, when we would go and visit your office or whatever, or we've seen you at our conferences and stuff like that. But now I have like this incomplete, but more complete picture of like this person that's like so like real. Dude, thanks for bringing it. Thanks for bringing like the authenticity.
You got to be yourself.
That's the lesson. That's the lesson I'm taking away, right?
So,
right, Ricky?
You have to. That's
because you're not going to meet anybody else any better than you are yourself.
And who's going to be the best representation of you?
I agree. Hey, Johny Acosta, thanks for being on our TOA Storytellers podcast.
I appreciate it. It's an honor, and I thank you guys for even considering me. I appreciate it.